Before the video starts, this story features a lot of culture from the China under communism, and I've done my best to insert Wikipedia pages and pictures explaining the cultural phenomenon, but if you still have any questions, you can ask after the video is finished. Thank you, and let's start.
To work hard, and then so that when I grow up I can go to college, which I really took it to my heart. So and I also realized my mom had made a lot of sacrifice. She's a small woman. She's even shorter than me, and she had to work in the field, do those do the work like a grown-up man is doing. Just like a 3-day, I call it a 3-day exam, and college entrance exam.
As my mother said, the Gaokao is the college entrance exam in China. Now this is unlike our SAT in some ways. First of all, we have the rest of our application if we don't do so well on the SAT, and frankly SAT scores do not matter so much anymore compared to the rest of our application. But in China, this is the only thing that will be looked at by colleges. Now, this puts a lot of pressure on students. What puts even more pressure on students is the consequences of whether or not they get a college education. So there's a bit of discrimination. Now, for city kids, if they don't do so well, they can still find a job in the city. However, if they have a countryside residence, then they have to return there and essentially just be a peasant for the rest of their life. Now, basically, what that means is one's entire life just depends on this college examination, and that puts a lot of pressure on students. Most students' mental health declines here just because of the enormous impact one test to determine the rest of your life. And furthermore, well, my father, he took this in 1986. Now this acceptance rate is very inflated because some people do not even pass the screening. Some students are not even offered the exam that were in high school. Not all high schools even offer the exam. Not all students finish high school. Not all youths that are of age to take the Gaokao even go to high school. So for this many people among China, which according to the age range of the Gaokao has roughly 120 million divided by 4 or 5, still has, this number is small. So it is just an extremely intense exam, and it's more comparable to the SHSAT in New York City because, well, only your score determines your specialized high school, and you can't buy a seat, you can't choose your application in any way.
My city, right? You say my city. My city, usually the first sense is that why this is my city. You will think that this is where I belong. This is where I'm recognized. This is the place that I have many friends. But it's never the case. I mean, in my impression, it's never the actual thing that make me feel where I belong. One example is when I was back in China, my mother was my mother married my dad, right? Because of the go to the mountain, go to the village thing.
The movement.
Movement, right? So they kind of like married, and my mom was not considered as native, considered as someone belonged to that place, belonged to my hometown. Therefore, me and my sister were not regarded as kind of like
Outsider.
people. We are always considered
outsider.
outsider, and they even use the term like you're barbarian. I mean, like you don't belong. You go back where you are from. This is like over 50% of people hold that opinion. Even today, up to today, they still think that some. I mean, nowadays, I mean, like people migrate. Migrant workers are so like prevailing, right? But still, people consider they cause problems. They are, I mean, a security risk coming to the city. These kind of things. Many people have that view, but they actually build the city. They make the city great, prosperous. Okay. Now the thing is that, so I have this feeling. I don't belong. Although, I mean, over time, right? I see things like when you go to school, you have good grades, teachers are to you, somehow people recognize you. Then, I mean, also back in China, right? We have food coupons, we buy things, right? All these kind of things. I mean, essentially, you wear the same thing with other people, you eat the same thing as other people, and you are kind of allocated with some kind of, I mean, same food as others. So you will think that people are made to be uniform, and this is a society that you belong. But it's actually, on the contrary, it's not. It's like you feel you're restricted. It's like I'm struggling with all these things, and this kind of feeling lasts even until I graduate from college. When I need to find a job, your job basically, you don't have much freedom to choose your career. You have to beg people to get you in, and they look down at you, and it's like everybody has their positions already. You don't really have much room to define yourself. And although you are like other people, although people treat you more or less like you are equal, but I don't think I belong to this place.
So this is the university that my father went to. It says women's college, but that is only for undergraduates. He pursued a graduate program. However, he did live here, Haverford College, and it was made possible by the system. And although he did get a full scholarship, he didn't feel fully welcome despite everybody being nice, because he was still different from everybody else.
So it's kind of treated nice, but the place I really feel that I belong is when we moved to New York City.
So here's a brief overview of my parents' journey in New York City. So their first home was in Flushing, somewhere around here, and basically they had one room to themselves, and they would share the other utility rooms, kitchen and bathroom, with other families. And that was when my father landed his first job, basically, at City College. And my mother was going to NYU, sort of like switching careers. And then in order to find a place that was more convenient, they moved closer to City College. Over here. And so they lived somewhere around here, and it was the same thing. They rented only one room, and they had to share it with a bunch of students that also went to City College. But as they became more stable and had more regular income, they were able to start a family, and then they were able to go to a place near Van Loon Street. Here. And so then they settled down in not the heart of the city, but still a place that is convenient to build a family, not too far away from the doctors in Flushing, and not too far away from all the business places in Manhattan.
So I want to be a scientist. You can be a scientist. I want to be an engineer. You can be an engineer. So like it enables you to have your own dream.
I will continue on what my father said. The story about parents left out an enormous amount of information and context about them, and only a fraction of their journey has been and will be shown in commentary. The reason for including so many clips about life before New York City is to show the contrast between it and other cultures, similar to contrasting two opposites just in order to make New York City stand out more compared to the rest of the world. Chinese society is often very established. For example, in order to find a job in a foreign company, which came in through Deng Xiaoping's economic reform, and these jobs are usually the best paying jobs, one has to have connections with other people. Otherwise, the government will assign a job. The background that this provides is the limited options that are present in older societies with more inequality. And this is contrasted with the United States in the form of New York City. America does not give or guarantee financial success. When in American universities, they would buy big hams because it was the cheapest ham in terms of dollars per pound. And my parents would have to live in one-room apartments for years. However, the university did offer my father a full scholarship, and so it did reward hard work in this certain case. And another concept that is brought up is the definition of my city. It is not where you are accepted, although that would certainly be ideal. Both my parents have experienced some form of racism, as have I. But it is where you are free to make decisions, and the strict management of life in the government of China through various things like the one-child policy and also the government just assigning you a job. Unfortunately, that was cut out from the video as it would take too long, but New York City, with all of its opportunities, allowed my mother to completely switch her careers, albeit at the expense of college loans. When looking back at how my parents described New York City, they were frankly fascinated by it, viewing it as the embodiment of the American dream despite all of its flaws. To them and many others, New York was the center of opportunity and freedom, admiring it as a statue of liberty from their perspective.
Nice. The first thing is that we're not uniform anymore. But funny enough, I mean, even if we are not uniform, but we have, different community, different culture. We can get like authentic Indian food, authentic Chinese food, authentic Mediterranean food, even Ethiopia food. Do you know?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's like it doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be accepted to make you feel belong. What really make you feel belong is that you are able to have the ability to define yourself or strength feeling. I mean, even though you are accepted as the same person as others, but is this place that I really my place? No. When I come to the United States, that was I'm almost 30. I mean, let's say just I did my PhD in a small town in Pennsylvania, which is much nicer place. People accept you, but you're different. But people provide you all the resources as the same as other students from United States. You have access to all the library, all the teachers' consultation, all these kind of things. You even get the financial aid. Some students don't. Right? I have full scholarship. So my example is not the best example here because I still have to have the financial responsibility to support mom and so on, right? But mom didn't have a job. Mom had a break of education. Mom's age is like 35 years old. If mom was in China, it's almost impossible to mom to switch career or to even have a good job. But when mom is in New York City, what did mom do? Mom take the GRE test, takes the TOEFL test, and mom went to school again.
Oh, I was 31 at the time.
It's 31,
Right,
right?
okay.
Right. I mean, but when mom start to work, it's almost 35.
Yeah.
So
Before
mom can
my
define
30.
herself now, right? Mom can pursue a career that you can never imagine. In a place that you might think you belong. You speak the same language as other people, you are treated the same way as other people. It's like you wear the same things as other people. No, but that's not the definition of that place is that you can belong to. It's actually the place that enables you to fulfill your dream. That makes you feel, oh, I'm not free. This is the place I belong to. So mom get back into school again and find a job in investment bank and do the job that mom likes. Mom was majored in chemistry, but now mom likes computer science.
Oh, not just in an investment bank, but a preeminent investment bank.
The top tier investment,
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
biggest, one of the top 5 or
Yeah.
top 4. Okay.
Yeah.
And people just appreciate the mom's work attitude. Honestly, I don't think a mom can do as good as like a computer science major students educated all along. Mom actually only did computer science for 2.5 years, right? But the mom's working attitude is accepted. I mean, this is a value like people like. I mean, this is the place that value your work attitude, not your age, your gender, your background. That's why you feel you belong.
But you cannot deny my talent.
Hey, okay. But it's like
Yeah.
if you work hard, you get rewarded. I mean, you get rewarded the position or the kind of recognition you deserve. So this is freedom. This is the place that defines you. You define the place. So it goes both ways. And the mom continued to study. Actually, you inspired mom because right?
Go on.
So mom switched job because mom was doing computer science in a bank. Now mom said, I mean, what companies lead the computer science? It's like the big IT companies. So mom went to the top IT companies. So mom can still continue to define herself in her 50s. So do you think this place is actually the place that define you and you define? So this is my city. You consider this is my city, not the city that you are similar. I mean, other people are similar to you. Other people, I mean, like you speak the same language as you. No, it's not. It's the place that you can realize, fulfill your dream, realize yourself.